Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my podcast. This is season 3. So today I have my first guest, and my first guest is Lara, and she's a mindset coach and a certified hypnotherapist. And she's also based in Switzerland. So, you know, for being on the computers these days, it doesn't really matter where you are, does it? I mean, we can all connect every which way nowadays. So I wanted to have you on and to chat about how you help people and what is your what can we take away from working with you today? Like, how can you help us with your mindset coaching? Um, and I've had a comment today, which I mentioned to you earlier, about weight loss. So maybe there's something in there that we can unpack as well. And yeah, let's just see where this takes us, shall we? So let's tell me a little bit about how you help people. That would be a good place to start, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so first of all, thanks a lot for having me in your podcast, in your show. It's really, I feel truly honored to be your guest today.
Oh,
And I'm really excited to share more about the work I do and how I help people. And hopefully this will help your, listeners to also transform their life and getting to live their dream life they envision for themselves.
yeah, brilliant. We're all about positivity in our group as well. They're all very spiritual people, but they're open-minded to many subjects and anything that comes in without improving themselves in any way, shape, or form, really, they're all really interested in that. So yeah, let's hear what you do. I'm fascinated.
Yes, so as you already mentioned, I am a coach and a certified hypnotist. And in fact, that combination of coaching and hypnosis work has proved very powerful for my clients because we get to, in our sessions, we get to address their beliefs and assess where they are stuck. And
Yeah,
then by adding the hypnosis part, we get to rewire their brain for what they envision for themselves. So we are directly addressing all their blocks and limiting beliefs and turning them around into positivity and strength and empowering them.
sounds
And
brilliant.
yes, and I know that there are many myths around hypnosis.
Yeah.
Not sure if you want to dive into that right now or go back to it a bit later. There is so much I could share about, the power of it, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, go ahead. Yeah, tell us about it.
So basically, hypnosis is a deep state of relaxation while focused attention. And hypnosis allows us to go beyond the surface. So there's a conscious mind and a subconscious mind, right? And I'm sure most of your people already know that 95% of our daily thoughts, actions, and whatever we do is basically on autopilot. Crazy 95% of it. And hypnosis allow us to cross the barrier between the 5% conscious mind we actually get to steer and directly access the subconscious mind where we have the chance to rewire our stories and rewrite also the limiting beliefs for success. And yet it's very, very gentle. It's, as said, a state of deep relaxation and focused awareness. So it's almost like light sleep, where all the magic happens. And there is so much power behind it. And the common misconception around hypnosis is based on what we get to see, on the big shows on television or even read in books about mind control and, not being consciously aware about what we are doing during hypnotic state. And that's completely not true for the therapeutical hypnosis I apply with my clients. So you're always conscious. You can always stop the process at any point in time, open your eyes, and just leave the hypnotic state
Yeah.
if you wish to.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of them will get that concept because they do meditations, and a lot of them work with me and do meditation. So I completely understand where you're coming from because I trained in the trauma coaching last year. So I understand about the subconscious mind and the conscious mind, and doing that work. But how do you get your people to get to that state of actually making an impact with them? You know, like, is it one session that you do, or is it a series of sessions? How do you get to the point that they actually feel that they've got a benefit from it?
So it always depends on the topic they would like to work on, right? There are simpler topics where one session could be enough, but usually I recommend that the clients that come to me to work in a set of 5 sessions, because I figured out this to be the most impactful amount of sessions, to really have a deep and long-lasting transformation at the end of our time together. So yes, one-off is possible, but you will experience deeper and more long-lasting results with a series of sessions.
Yeah, yeah. Does this help with habits then? Is like,
Absolutely,
yeah,
yes. I love that you're, pointing us right into where the power is, because,
yeah,
and that has also to do with the conscious and the subconscious mind, right? As long as something we would like to establish as a habit is not part of our autopilot and the subconscious mind, it requires willpower and motivation to follow through. And this is both of them are finite. And at one point, we just can't keep going because our brain, because how our brain is wired. It's trying to keep us safe, in the cozy comfort of the known, and the new habit is not part of the safety. And that's, why habits are so hard to establish until they are part of our autopilot. And hypnosis can indeed speed up that process massively, and put your brain at ease and kind of, making it feel comfortable with the new habit much faster than if you try to just go with willpower and motivation.
yeah. I think because breaking a habit is really uncomfortable, isn't it? You have to get into a different place, be a different person, basically, to
Yeah.
change that habit. It's a bit like if you want to change something in your life, isn't it? You have to do something different. And
Yes.
that's why people fall short, don't they? They do it for a short period of time, but they can't sustain it, can they? So yeah, it's interesting. Even if we look at our own habits, which I do on occasion or have done recently, and you think that you get up at the same time, you do the same thing, you do it on autopilot, don't you? Everything that
Yes.
you do is just so much ingrained as a habit that you just do it. So what could you say to somebody then that's trying to get out of a really bad habit that they could just do to start with that would help them?
So I think first of all, it's very, very important to define an alternative habit, a more, let's say, more healthier habit, right? To replace the old habit with. So for me, that's always kind of the start. And then it becomes much easier, if we habit stack, for example. So if we, let's say, if you're brushing our teeth in the evening, that we add the new habit into that. And that's the replacing habit. Or
Yeah,
then instead of doing the bad habit, right away go into doing the better one we thought of. And then I think it's also about being nice to myself. About, if I still go into the bad habit once, it's important to be aware of that, and stop it, and be nice and kind to myself, and just be also forgiving about still, occasionally or maybe slipping into the bad habit.
yeah.
And then I think it's important to go into the new habit as soon as possible.
That's the problem, isn't it? People do that. Say, like we talked about weight loss earlier, and then they slip up, and then they beat themselves up,
Yeah.
and they think, I give up then,
Yes.
or I start again next week, or I mean that concept I've never figured with me, to be honest. Like, if you do something bad one day, why do you need to wait a week before you do something good? Just like, but that's like a mindset thing, isn't it? That I'm constantly thinking on that loop. So if they do something bad one day or they slip, say, and then just go straight into like, just forgive yourself, stuff happens, it's not the end of the world, and then just next day get back on track. You don't really need to wait a week, do you, to do that?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
think, what just come to mind, do you think like keeping a diary or a journal or something like that would benefit someone that struggles with like breaking bad habits? Is there something physical that they could do you reckon?
So what I recommend my clients is to have a diary with the weekdays in it, and then note every day at least three positive things they did or accomplished on that day. And I figured out this really helps with focusing, shifting the focus away from what all the bad things that went on in their life and looking and focusing on the good things. And over time, we actually wire our brain to focus more on the good things instead of going into all the negativity. So yes, I think journaling and just noting down and shifting the focus on the positive things is really helpful, also
Yeah.
for habits.
Do you think then, because most people live in the past, this is why they get stuck in life? They can't either be in the present or they can't visualize their future or not very far. So therefore, a lot of the emotions and the habits and things that are formed are from past traumas or something that's happened to them in the past. Could be conditioning from childhood or something, I guess. But they're constantly, brain keeps going back to that place, keeping them stuck. Is that the concept?
Yes, I see that very often for my clients that they either get stuck, and reliving their past traumas over and over again. And it's really important to put um, I call it pattern interrupt into that and do
Mm.
healing work. So that's where most clients and people in general go. And many of us are then on the other side looking into the future and worrying about things that did not even happen yet, right? Um, and that's from the past and from the future. That's where all the negativity and bad feelings and bad emotions come from. Usually they are not from the now.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you do something personally yourself to keep you focused now, in the present time?
Yes, so for me, I also apply hypnosis for myself on a daily basis. That really helps me to keep myself focused on the good things and focus in the here and now. I do the journaling myself as well, focusing on all the things I'm grateful for. Um, and then what is also very important, I think it's for our nervous system to, not sure if you heard about the vagus nerve, but it's one of the,
Yeah.
key nerves in our system. And it's very important that we do regular relaxation of the vagus nerve. So for me, that also includes body movement and being out in nature, even for a short walk, that just does magic for all of us.
Yeah, that's a given for me. When you get on my group, you'll see that I do go walking along the beachfront quite a lot, and I do
Amazing.
my like videos from there as I'm
Hmm.
walking along. So that's where I've been earlier before we
Hmm.
connected. So that's like a given for me. That has to happen. I have to do that, if not every day, as not much as I can to do that. And of course, the exercise is just brilliant for your mindset as well, isn't it? And I feel like even exercise, like I go to the gym, but it's not a thing that I do. It is a habit now. I have to go because it's a habit. It's not something I do because I think I should. So, like some days, you don't really want to go, but I mean, I think you can listen to your body, can't you, to see if that's a good thing to do on that day for you. But it's getting into these good habits, isn't it? And again, like if we talk about the weight loss thing, that a lot of people are talking about that at the moment, aren't they? Because they've overdone it for the Christmas and the New Year.
Yeah, it's January, right? So everyone is focused on their weight for a week or two until they
Yeah.
tend to fall off the wagon. Yes.
Yes. And they're all in the gym as well at the minute, which is really frustrating when you go in there, you look around and you go, oh my God, I can't get on anything. There's all these people that are going to last for about 2 months and then they'll be gone. So, but
Yeah.
in the meantime, the regulars can't get on any of the machines. Now, what would you say to somebody now that's looking at their weight loss? They're looking at to improve their health and things like that. Would you have something that would work for them in your line of work, which what you do for your hypnosis?
Yes. So what I would do with someone that comes to me with that request about the weight loss is to first assess, um, where is it coming from? Is it overeating? Is it kind of bad habits in terms of not moving enough? Is it any childhood imprint that leads them to, being overweight? So I would first assess where they are coming from. I would assess their limiting beliefs to then, and then I would ask about their dream outcome, about, what they envision for themselves. And based on their vision, we are defining positive affirmations, empowering affirmations, helping them to establish healthier habits and or stop overeating. So it, depends where they're coming from.
Yeah.
And over the course of the 5 sessions, we would then work on those topics and always include the personalized, positive, empowering affirmations for them to kind of quantum leap their transformation. And weight loss is actually, it's a very good topic to address with hypnosis.
Yeah, brilliant. Right. Okay. So, what do you think then that if they've got an issue with, say, eating the wrong things, but perhaps that was done through childhood, like my generation, well, my parents basically was like, you need to eat everything on your plate. You need to clear your plate. Don't leave the table till you're finished, till it's all gone. That type of mentality.
Yeah.
That could have an effect, couldn't it, on you as an adult, going to feel that you need to
Absolutely.
clear your plate. But I mean, I suppose again, I mean, it's not bad if you need to clear your plate. It's what's on the plate, isn't it, in the first place?
Well, it's a bit of both, right? If you're forced to eat until the plate is finished, it leads you to mistrusting your intuition about, and listening to your body signals. And if your body says, you're full, I think it's worth trusting it and stop eating. However, it became a habit because of that childhood imprint to actually only finish once the plate is is fully eaten. Um, and it's about breaking, identifying those limiting beliefs, breaking them, and admitting that it's also fine to, put the rest, not putting it into the garbage, but putting it aside and maybe finish then in the next meal.
Yeah, yeah. I must admit, I mean, I am one that does finish everything on my plate. But then again, I eat quite healthy.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes I know that I'm full, but I still eat everything on my plate. And I think to myself, why are you doing this? Like you're
Yeah.
just eating, and I know it's a habit. Thankfully, it's good stuff on there that I can eat, and it's not like chips and too much like bad
Mm-hmm.
things on there. So I don't feel so bad. But I was actually conscious of this yesterday when I was eating, and I thought, yeah, you are overeating. And I think I've become more aware of it because of the Christmas thing. So we all go out and we do stuff, don't we? Visit family, and you get a great big plate full of
Mm-hmm.
whatever's they're cooking. Usually it's a roast over here, and you tend not to want to be rude, so you eat everything, and then suddenly you're in another habit. I'm eating massive meals again. So I guess that could be something that's going on with everyone at the moment, needing to downsize the amount of food that they're actually on their plate and be conscious of what they're actually putting on the plate as well. And obviously I think they're probably still eating the chocolates and things like that are going on. Don't you think that that could be one of the scenarios that's actually playing out here, as well as maybe being triggered from like childhood stuff, something that the parents said to them, or maybe comfort eating. Maybe it's that emotional
Yeah.
eating, I think we call it. Is that what you call it?
Yes. So they are emotional eaters, absolutely. And for many, chocolate is, comforting them. I'm not yet 100% sure if it's coming from, it's been very special for us as children to have and eat chocolate. I'm not 100% sure why it has such a strong impact on people, comforting people. Maybe
Mm.
it's just the release of
Yeah.
dopamine hormones chocolate, has. But it's definitely a trap that many people fall into. And then kind of, I mean, it's nothing wrong about eating chocolate. I think it's about the amount of chocolate and being conscious about, you know, um, being addicted to it
Mm.
at one point in time if you eat it too often or too big amounts of it.
Yeah, I think it's a difference between a few squares of dark chocolate
Yeah.
and a tin
Yes.
of roses or whatever, isn't it?
Yes.
Depends where you're going with that. But we can all say things are bad for you. Some people say coffee's bad for you. No, I would never give up my coffee.
Me neither. Yet, I think it's about being really honest to yourself. Um, if that amount of whatever you're eating is really doing good for you and your body, or not. And listen and face the honest answers you're getting, and deal with them.
Well, I know some of the foods nowadays, they've got so many chemicals and things in them, haven't they? That they're designed to make you want to eat more. So
Yes.
it must be is it the dopamine hit that you get from eating things that are sugary, fat, and fattening? Got a high content of maybe carbohydrate, fats, and sugars in them, for instance, like cakes or whatever. So
Hmm.
I think they're modified in a certain way, unless they're home baked, of course, that they make you crave having more of them. So I think maybe don't buy them in the first place would be, or make your own, maybe would be an option there, wouldn't it?
Probably. And I think what is really interesting here is that you are, that chemicals, there is always whatever you do, say, think, feel, is releasing chemicals into your body. And that's also with the nutrition intake. So you get addicted basically to that, to your own unique chemical release to your body. And if you are lacking, for example, that dopamine hit coming from the chocolate, you
Mm.
are craving the chocolate to get that dopamine hit. So I think it's first of all about the awareness of what is it that it's giving you,
Yeah,
and what else could help you to get at least a certain amount of dopamine hit to then slowly bring down the cocktail, you're having into and bring it into a more healthy, I would
yeah,
say, amount of chemicals, and then, continuing from there.
yeah. Because I suppose it's all connected to the emotions, isn't it? So
A
they
lot
go with
is,
that.
yes, the emotions and the feelings.
Mm. Yeah, it's an interesting subject. Nothing's ever straightforward, is it? It's not just
No,
about
no.
don't put the food in your mouth, is it?
Yeah.
Really?
No, and that's just I'd say that's just the end, the end scenario. Don't put it into your mouth. But before
Yeah,
that, there is so much inner work
yeah,
required, and people are, I mean, that's uncomfortable to
yeah,
face your inner self and get in silence as well with yourself, because there are in today's world there are so many distractions. It's so easy to not focus on your inner self,
yeah.
and I think that's partially, or what's making it hard for many people these days to be in alignment with themselves as well.
Yeah. Do you think like the lockdown has made a big impact on the way people view like eating and drinking now? Because basically that's all they had to do, didn't they, during that time? A lot of people use as some form of comfort, wasn't it?
I could well imagine that the lockdown had a certain impact. Um, Yet I think, there we can see the kind of the tendencies, especially in terms of the weight, around the weight topic, for many years ongoing. So I'm not sure if the lockdown accelerated the process, and if people are getting slowly back to before lockdown, or not in terms of weight management and
But I
eating.
think it might accelerated the drinking.
Probably, yes.
Yeah, because
Maybe.
the alcohol was quite easy to come by, wasn't it? So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's another problem in itself, really, that situation.
Mm.
So would you give people, we mentioned earlier that you've got some MP3s, is it? Some little, is it videos you've got? What is it you've got that you can suggest people can look at that might help them with
Yes.
that?
So I'd happily offer to download a free mini hypnosis audio, so you can get get to see and experience the tip of the iceberg to what's possible when working with me, and how my hypnosis sounds like. Usually, the hypnosis work I do with my clients is 30 to 45 minutes long. So the free audio is around 10-15 minutes.
Yeah.
I be very happy to share it with your community for
Yeah.
them to experience a positive effect of hypnosis.
Yeah, that'll be great. What we'll do, we'll put the links anyway to your website because they're on your website as well, aren't they?
They
But
are.
yeah,
Yeah,
once the podcast has gone on and I've connected you into my group, you could put one on there for them and perhaps they
that
can
would be
try
lovely.
it.
Yes.
That would be really good, wouldn't it? And yeah, I mean, anything that you can share really that would help somebody or the people that are listening to this today to actually improve their life in some way. Because everyone's looking, new year, they think new starts, new beginnings. How can I change? What can I do to change things? And I think personally, it's to start with your habits. Where would you go with that? What would you say?
I completely agree to starting with the habits is a really good starting point. There's a lot of work you can do on your own to get started. I think very important is, and that's where most people fail, they are reluctant to make the first step because it just takes time and effort to achieve the dream outcome. And this is why most people are not even starting. And I think that's a faulty strategy. So it's about really doing the first step, and step after step. You don't know, you do not need to have figured it out all at the beginning. It's really a journey, and I think getting help on that journey is always beneficial, whether through the work you do or through the work I do. That's always accelerating the process and the journey. However, there is no reason to not start a journey because you can totally figure it out on your own as well.
I always think like being part of a community or an online group, whichever it is, and having that support of other people and people that are in the same boat as you, if you like, really helps. And I know a lot of people get a bit worried about joining things like that, don't they? And they feel a bit conscious of it. And are they going to be judged? But I mean, everybody's there for a reason, aren't they? To come forward. So I think you do group coaching as well, don't you?
I do occasionally, yes. Yeah. And I can really see the benefit of having accountability partners
Yeah.
in a group set up, and there's always learnings, whether I coach someone, kind of in a hot seat setup, and others are watching, they are always learning as well from that setup, right? And I experience the more vulnerable the person is who's being coached by me in the group setup.
Mhm.
Um, the, kind of I always say what's most personal is most general, because it's or so many other people have the same stories they're working on.
Yeah. Yeah, so like anyone listening, I mean, you're not alone. There are loads of people that need help with stuff, whether it is mindset, weight loss, or what other subjects you cover. I suppose it's probably everything, isn't it?
So there are we could work on most topics. So except a few, I'm not focusing on. But hypnosis is really great for weight management, for improving sleep quality,
Oh,
for reducing anxiety, stress relief, the personal empowerment, enhancing focus.
mhm.
There are so many areas hypnosis is
Oh,
really,
wow.
really great for.
Yeah, that's brilliant. What about sleep? Oh, I know a lot of my ladies have trouble sleeping. Is it an age thing? We blame it on the moon, but
Oh, well, I can share that, sleep quality was the reason, or is my story that brought me to being a certified hypnotist today.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
wow. Tell us.
so I always had issues to go to bed in the evening. I was really reluctant to go to bed for whatever reason. And once I made myself to go to sleep, it took me sometimes hours to fall asleep. And if I woke up during the night, usually between 2 and 3 a.m.,
Mhm.
I couldn't fall back into sleep for sometimes 2, 3 hours. And hypnosis has helped me profoundly
Oh,
with my sleep quality. Because, and I haven't shared that yet, but hypnosis is actually slowing down our brain waves.
yeah,
So for most of the time in today's world, people are either in beta or gamma state, which is
yeah,
really high awareness state. And hypnosis has the power to instantly slow down the brain waves going into theta state. And then it's just a water drop away from deep sleep delta state, right? So for me nowadays, I'm in theta state, within minutes, with the help of hypnosis.
brilliant.
Um, and just imagine what it can do for you if you have an improved sleep
Yeah.
quality.
Oh, wow. Have you got one of those on your website that we can listen to?
So there's on my main page, there's a pop-up with the instant relaxation mini hypnosis, which is free as well. And of course, you're more than welcome to download that hypnosis.
Oh, oh, I think I should have you in my group at some point. I think you need to do one for sleep for my lot.
That would be lovely. That's really, improving sleep quality is one of my, how do you call that? One of my
My
strong
specialty.
points.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
In addition, actually, to the habits, topic and stress relief. So those are the three strong focus points. I get to work actually with most of my clients with at some point in time.
Yeah, I think the sleeping one is a big one for women. I mean, we blame a lot of things on menopause and
Mm.
children and all sorts we can all come up with a reason why, but fundamentally, I think, like you said, we just got to learn to calm our nervous system down. And if you've experienced trauma or an upset or something's really bothering you, go into the fight and flight mode, don't you? And it can be really hard to come out of that state of being into there. And of course, then you go to bed thinking about everything, don't you, as well? So it just keeps on putting the process over and over and over. So yeah, I think that will be really great if you could do something for us. We'll sort it out. We'll get you on to do something in my group, and I'm sure you'll have a few people for that. Because that we do, because we're all spiritual in my group. I would say that, well, they wouldn't be in there otherwise, but so we all blame it on the moon. It's the moon this month, it's the moon that month. Is it a full moon? Is it a black moon? Is it? I do it as well.
I mean, there's some truths around the moon
Yeah,
and also the female cycle, I would say.
yeah.
Yet there are so many other days in the month, right?
I know. Don't sleep on
And
those either.
yes, and even on those more energy intense days, hypnosis can really help as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good. Do you know about the planetary alignment that's coming up on the 25th of January?
I actually read about it, but I'm not having too many information about it yet.
Yeah. So I think that's going to have quite an impact on people as well. And it's going to highlight a lot of things that are going on in their life. And all the planets as such do have emotions and things attached to them and the things that they bring up. So as we're heading into that way, and I think this year there's going to be a lot more call for people that need people like you and me to come in and help them to release stuff that they no longer want, release habits, move forward in their life, maybe helping with their sleep and their weight loss, just getting them back on track.
Mm.
So I think, this is a really good podcast to put out as my first one. So I really appreciate you being on here and sharing your stuff with us. Is there any, tell us about your journey. That would be really interesting because tell me how you got into this.
Yeah, so as already spoiled, at the very start were my sleeping issues.
Oh, okay.
So, but I didn't, that brought me kind of into the field of guided meditation. However, I'm a mom to two kids, and I'm following a professional career as well, in addition to the work I do as a coach and hypnotist. So I do, at one point in time, I just felt that either something changes or I'll break. And that is where I found the power of hypnosis. And it has helped me to overcome that feeling of being stuck and putting all the negativity I had around my life and the setup of it into empowering ones. And really I could see how the impact was from having the support of hypnosis and positive affirmations in my life to quantum leap in my own transformation. And this was, where I decided that I would really love to help more people to experience the same transformation. And it was so easy. It didn't felt like hard work. Yes, I had to do the inner work at the very beginning and ask myself a lot of honest questions on who am I and who do I want to become. Yet the transformation itself almost, it just felt easy. And that's what I would like to bring to the attention of more people and help more people to live their dream life.
Yeah. I think it's not difficult, is it? Really, it's not difficult. Once you find the right person and you connect with them and you're on the same wavelength and they get you, it's not difficult.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's all about finding the person that you resonate with. Um, and I'm sure you do. You've got such a lovely nature. I'm sure you must resonate really well with a lot of your clients that you work with. Do you going into corporate as well?
I am. So I'm occasionally hosting workshops for companies. A fun fact is that, in my coachings, I mostly work with women, busy moms and other lovely women. Yet in the corporate workshops I hold, there are mostly men actually, and it's quite nice to see the balance. And I also enjoy, the kind of bringing perspective to the people that are not that spiritual, because the clients I attract mostly are.
Yeah.
But for corporate world, this is still a, how do you call that? Like walking on eggshells sometimes. Um, but I can see the inspiration I bring to them, and how powerful it is for them also, in their continued journey.
So when you work with the men, then is that more about stress, work-related stress, really, rather than home-related?
Yes, it's a lot about stress relief and relaxation, but it's also about, increasing focus and getting in touch with internal kind of or wisdom and guidance and intuition that the male energy is not so much about.
Yeah.
So they're usually about doing, achieving,
Yes.
and so they often have a hard time to understand that actually taking a break um, can give within a shorter time frame the better results ultimately, because you get the inspiration than working, let's say, 50 hours a week.
That's a hard
Mm.
lesson to learn, isn't it? That one. That one is. Because
It is, yeah.
yeah, everyone's just striving, doing, grinding, chasing and all of that. They don't realize, step back. It actually is easier. And then like
Absolutely.
attracting, don't you, then after that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant. Have you got anything else that you want to share with us?
I think we touched, the key elements of the power of hypnosis because that's, what I think is interesting for you listeners. Yeah, and just thank you once again for having me on your podcast. And yeah, just having me here.
Oh,
It
no,
was
it's been
lovely.
brilliant. Oh, hopefully we're going to see you again anyway shortly. And what's your cat's name? Lovely.
So he's my king.
Oh,
He's Dinko. I have five of them. So usually my clients get to see them during
yeah,
my coaching sessions as well. But they're having I find they're having a calming
yeah,
impact, not only on me but also on my clients. Although I always work online.
yeah.
It still has a kind of a grounding impact
They
on them.
do. Well, the animals love it, don't they? They sense the energy that's going on. I know when I do my groups and my meditations and stuff, if there's any animals around, they want to be in the room, they're going to sleep, some are snoring in the
Mhm.
background. They just love it. I wish I would just let them be, let them come in. It's really great. We love it. Thank you. Are you on like social media platforms? Are you on Instagram and obviously got a Facebook obviously page because we're connected, but do you have a private group in or anything like that?
So I'm having my Facebook main page. There's no private group yet, but I'm also on LinkedIn. So in
Okay.
case you are on LinkedIn, I would be delighted to receive your connection request.
Oh, brilliant. I was on it and then I come off it. I went through this little stage of having a bit of a clear out and getting rid of all these social media things that I was on because they're quite time consuming. And so I came off it because I kept getting sales things coming through to me all the time and I found them quite annoying. So I thought I'm going to need to get off of it. But I'm thinking lately that I should go back on again and see connect with different people perhaps and maybe I might not get so many sales messages and things come through, but yeah, that is something I need to look at again. But we'll put everything on the bottom of this video so
Hmm.
people can find you and they can have a look, and hopefully we'll have you on to do a hypnosis for us to do with the sleeping. I think that would be really beneficial. I think my lot will love that. So I shall put it out there to see if we can get some interest for you and have you on and do that. Does that sound good to you?
Absolutely. I
Oh,
can't wait.
oh, thank you so much for today. I really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you. It has
Thank
been a
you.
pleasure.
Speak to you soon.
Speak soon. Bye, Tracy.